In the days of exile, when the children of Israel lived as strangers in the land of Assyria, there was a man named Tobit. He was a man known not for power, nor for wealth, but for a righteousness that refused to bow to the darkness around him. Though his people were scattered and humiliated, Tobit did not forget the ways of the Lord. He gave food to the hungry, clothing to the naked, and even in a foreign land, he honored the dead with burial, a sacred act that could cost him his life. One day, after returning from work exhausted and covered in dust, a feast was prepared for him. The table was set, and Tobit, according to his custom, sent his son Tobias to find a poor, hungry Israelite who could share the meal with them. But instead of a hungry guest, Tobias returned with terrible news. One of their own people had been murdered in the marketplace. Tobit rose quickly, leaving his meal untouched. Under the cover of night, he carried the lifeless body away and gave it a proper burial. His act of mercy was seen by some, and soon soldiers were hunting for the one who buried the dead. Tobit hid in fear, knowing he had broken the king's command. For many days, his wife Anna supported the family with her own hands. When the danger passed, Tobit returned home. And one night, after finishing another burial, he slept outside near a wall. As he rested, warm dung from nearby birds fell into his eyes. Slowly, the light of his vision faded, and Tobit, the man who helped so many, became blind. Blindness fell not only on his eyes, but on his life. His world dimmed, and poverty entered his home. The man once honored by his people was now mocked, and there were whispers that God had abandoned him. His beloved wife, Anna, worked as a servant and brought home a young goat as part of her wages. But Tobit, weary and wounded in his spirit, questioned her, suspecting she had stolen it. Hurt by his accusation, Anna cried out, "Where are your acts of mercy now? Where is your righteousness?" Her words pierced Tobit's heart, and sorrow poured over him like a cold rain. He retreated to silence, and there, in the darkness of his blindness, Tobit lifted a prayer not of victory, but of honesty, pain, and surrender. He asked God to take his life and let him depart in peace, for he felt he was of no use to the world anymore. But while Tobit prayed in Assyria, something else was happening far away in the land of Media. There lived a young woman named Sarah, the daughter of Raguel. Sarah was good, blameless, and pure of heart, yet tragedy followed her like a shadow. 7 times she had been given in marriage, and 7 times a mysterious demon named Asmodeus killed her bridegrooms before they could live even a single day as husband and wife. Servants mocked her, calling her cursed. Some told her she should end her own life, because nothing good could ever come from her. Overwhelmed by shame and heartbreak, Sarah too wept and prayed, asking the Lord to end her suffering. But unlike those who wished to see her destroyed, she refused to take her own life. Instead, she surrendered her pain to God, trusting that even in silence, He sees and He remembers. 2 prayers, one from Assyria, one from Media, rose up to heaven, carried upon the breath of sorrow. And Scripture tells us that in that moment, the prayers of Tobit and the prayers of Sarah reached the throne of God. The Almighty, who never ignores the cry of the brokenhearted, heard them both. And He sent the angel Raphael to bring healing, restoration, and a future they could not yet imagine. What Sarah believed was a curse, God would turn into a testimony. And what Tobit believed was the end of his usefulness would become the beginning of a miracle, one that would change both families forever. This is not just an ancient story, it is a story for today. For how many people right now feel defeated, overwhelmed by life, asking God if He still sees them? How many families are struggling in silence, fighting battles no one else understands? How many are mocked because of their faith, their poverty, their illness, or their past? Tobit teaches us that even when we cannot see God's hand, His plans are still working. Sarah shows us that darkness does not have the final word. And together, they remind us that prayers whispered through tears are never wasted. Perhaps you, too, have buried dreams the world knew nothing about? Perhaps you are fighting a silent battle, or facing a spiritual attack, or living through a season that blinds you with discouragement. But just like Tobit, just like Sarah, your story is not over. God is still writing. Stay with this series, because what happens next is a testimony of deliverance, restoration, and divine intervention in ways no human could expect. If this story touched your heart, don't leave just yet. There is so much more ahead: angelic intervention, healing, and a marriage designed by God Himself. So please, like this video to support the channel. Comment your favorite moment or prayer below. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter of this powerful journey in the book of Tobit. And share this video with someone who needs hope today, because no matter how dark it seems, God still hears, God still answers, and God still saves.